Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here on this Friday morning. Got a great show lined up. We're going to give away some seafood and all kind of great information. I got a fishing forecast coming up, but first our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. We're looking at a pretty good day today. It's going to be high 79, low 66, but it's going to be windy. But the water temperature, I hope you don't get tired of me talking about the water temperature so much, but especially this time of year, though, it's so important because it had dropped, folks, from yesterday, it's dropped 2 more degrees. This morning it's 74. Yesterday it was 76. The day before it was 78. And I go back to like last Tuesday, it was 82. So it's amazing. When I say it dropped now, it really has. So when it dropped like 2 degrees each day for like 3 days, that's 6 degrees. So you can see now, we may get a little current that sort of swings through there, warms back up. But the general trend is dropping, and we should keep talking about this, the spring run and the fall run. Right now we're in the fall run, and we're getting pretty close. We're over halfway through we're getting toward the tail end of this run. Okay, the river readings, that place called Bluntstown, and they're brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, they're brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. And there's some really great fresh seafood up there. Get a chance this weekend, run up there and get something, get a good meal and all. But the Apalachicola Bluntstown is steady at 2.8, and the Choctaw at Caryville is still a 9.4. It's still high. It's not dropping out quite as fast as they anticipated about 2 days ago. Now let's look at a tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Today's the 27th of October, and we're looking at good tides. We have a actual high tide at 1:29 this morning. It's falling out all morning. It's going to be low right after lunch. So we got a good falling tide this morning, and then we have an incoming tide this afternoon. So this afternoon tide is going to be good if you get off work early. It's going to be blowing now. The marine forecast southeast at 10 to 15. So the tide won't be going out quite as strong in our bay areas in the northern part of all of the Choctaw Bay, Apalachicola Bay, and St. Andrew Bay. The tide will be will be held up some with that southeast wind, so it'll be coming in pretty strong though. Okay, now let's do our fishing game time today. It being Friday, our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. 6:23 to 8:23 this morning, and this evening from 6:47 to 8:47. I got a little note here I wrote down. Green peanuts. This time of the year, the peanuts are being harvested, and we were up around Dothan Wednesday of this week and stopped there and got some green peanuts. I have usually, the last few years, had some friends that have been growing their own peanuts, but this year the crop wasn't very good. They put too much fertilizer on them. I won't call out any names, Lee and Mike, but anyway, the crop didn't make it this year, so we usually go get our own truckload of them, but this year I had to stop and get some green peanuts. But this time of year to do it, and I say that because you just don't buy a little bag. You buy like 8 or 12 pounds, and then you boil a big old pot full and put them in the freezer, and then eat them all during the year. And I got that from my dad many years ago. He'd always do that, and would have boiled peanuts all the way usually through Thanksgiving. So anyway, this time of year to get some green peanuts. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I got this notice from the FWC. November weekend is added to the Gulf Gray Triggerfish in state waters, and it's going to be on November the 4th and 5th. You can go trigger fishing, recreational harvest, and was open some in October, but they opened up an additional weekend in November due to the storms, those kind of things. So if you would like to catch triggerfish, they will be open that first weekend of November. Just got word from FWC. I want to pass it on to you. Speaking of things that outdoorsmen like to know, and one of the big things is where are all the boat ramps, okay? Locals know where your basic boat ramps are, but we get so many people that move in and visit and all, and it all come in from out of county and want to know about boat ramps. So we got a picture of these boat ramps here in Bay County, and later on want to do some in Calhoun County and Gulf County and Walton County, especially got a bunch of ramps. Anyway, let's look at the Bay County ramps this morning, just briefly. We're not going to go through all of them, but we're going to start at the top left-hand corner and over on the western end of Panama City. And of course, the area to fish over there okay. You got the West Bay area, way over in West Bay. We always call it the West Bay Bridge. The Buchanan family, on the far left, top left over here, Buchanan family has a place there. And they had homesteaded, really, and that's why they named it after the Buchanan family. And then keeping on around, going up, like you go to the airport, of course, you have Burnt Mill Creek and Crooked Creek, those two ramps. Nice ramps right there. And I fished out all three of those ramps there. And then let's go on down the bottom. And I'm going to keep everything toward the center of the page. I won't go over all these, but you know, one place on the end of the, on this side of the Hathaway Bridge, there's a ramp right in here. And you don't use it much because the traffic is really hard, but there's a ramp right on this side of the Hathaway Bridge. And of course, Car Grade is going to be under construction, but that's going to be a good ramp. Michigan Avenue ramp we use a lot. Lynn Haven ramp, Donald Penny ramp right in here. Of course, freshwater up at Deer Point Lake, High Point Landing, and let's see, up in here, High Point Landing, and then move on. You got a lot of them here in town. A lot of the old ramps here, St. Andrews State Park. Moving on, and then you got some over here on East Bay. You got Sandy Creek, which is way down here. I don't know if that's even on the map, but Donaldson Point ramp. You got some down in the Cove, in this area right in here. That's some good ramps and all, but they're down Millville ramp. But move on down, and then you got all the way down here. You got what's called Davis Beach or Crooked Island, and then and that's a good ramp. When I say good, let me say this about that Davis Beach ramp. It's named from the Davis family and all, but it's not. It's a natural sandy ramp. It doesn't have any artificial stuff in it. So you got it. It's amazingly been well taken care of. Not a lot of people spinning out and all, because usually the people who use that ramp are good outdoorsmen and don't do anything crazy in it. So it's been good. You know, 10 years ago, not many people knew about it. Like the past 10 years, a lot of people go to it. It's really crowded now, but especially on weekends. But anyway, and then the last ramp I want to look at is Mexico Beach on the lower right-hand corner. And I have this to say about Mexico Beach. Look at all those ramps there, and guess who charges ramp fee? Mexico Beach. Those greedy commissioners or whoever that made up that rule, I don't know who they are, whoever made the rule to charge $10 to launch your boat. You have the distinction of being the only ramp in Bay County that actually charges the outdoorsmen to launch their boat. I don't think it's right. I think all of y'all know how I feel about it. And I know you're going to say, well, we've got to maintain it. What about all those other ramps up there? You know, they got to be maintained too, but our county commission is not charging us for them. Our city commission is not charging us for launch fees. So anyway, y'all know how I feel about that. Speaking about how I feel, I got word while I was up in Kentucky, there were some people down here getting some, and I hated I wasn't in town because I was going to try to help out on it, getting some illegal scallops, okay? And they do it every year here in Bay County, and they'd gotten a guy had gotten a big old croaker sack full, and the guy wouldn't let him put it back on his boat because this guy was a commercial captain and all. He knew better. So anyway, the guy called his buddies, and they came out and got some more, you know, a big old bag full of nice, big old healthy scallops this past week. And I was going to try to, but anyway, FWC knew about it, and they just didn't catch them this time. But they will catch them sooner or later. And you know, that in itself, that's just a selfish, self-centered, greedy, illegal, outlaw outdoorsman doing that kind of stuff. If we see that, you know, we got to let the authorities know. I know their arguments say, well, they're going to die anyway. Baloney. They are going to die, but they're not going to die right now. They're going to spawn, and then they're going to die like in December, January. They're not going to die now. They're going to spawn. So what you did, that big old croaker sack full of scallops that you got all those scallops, all those eggs that they would have had, and they have thousands. Each one has thousands of eggs and all. You took that away from us, from our kids and all the kids, and they could be doing. We could have a season in years to come. But no, greedy people like you are going to go ahead and take them and just take care of yourself. Now, I hope you choke on them. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's add a name. We forgot to draw. I got so excited telling you my opinion on how I feel about things, we forgot to draw last segment. So we're going to do it. Wanda Miller, we're going to add your name on here. So you're in here. So we're going to draw for the Sandhill Seafood. And this is going to be for the little seafood platter. I say little, it's a big old seafood platter. It's $20-something worth of all kind of seafood in there. So the winner's going to be, you can go out tonight and get you some really fresh seafood. The winner is Bob Biggers from up there at Deer Point Lake. Just cut across the dam and hit 77, and you'll be happy. Okay. All right, now let's move on. I wanted to, well, hunting season, I didn't do this last year because I keep a record of it. Usually I go over the top 10 bucks because it's just fascinating to me. The top 10 bucks ever taken in the state of Florida. This is a typical rack, and over the years the FWC's had to change their format. They will not recognize deer that are taken behind fenced-in areas, and rightfully so. That's just a different category. But for this is on public land, private people's land, public land. It's not behind a fenced area. And so we're going to look at them, and this is updated. I got this last night, and I'll tell you before the story. In fact, I have an interview with the top one, Larry Furr. Okay, right there, Gaston County. Larry is my first cousin. Our moms were sisters. I've known Larry my whole life, and he don't hunt as much as used to. But Larry, I'll tell you a story about that. It's a fascinating story. But that buck scored 168 points. The method he got it, I believe he shot that thing with a rifle. I don't know why they don't have it down, but I may need to get back up there and do another interview with him and talk to him again about that. Second place, I'm just going to go through roughly Leon County. Larry got that buck in 1977 on New Year's Day, in 1977. I remember it well. And then shotgun, third place, Jeff Sullivan, Marion County. That's around Ocala. I believe that was taken in Ocala National Forest. That's 3 big bucks right there, all of them 164 above. Fourth place, William Sharber, and he got in Pasco County, which is down, central South Florida, which I was. And then Bobby Davis in Dixie County, right here, Dixie County. They all know where that is, Cross City area. That's 159. That's a big buck. Going down to Felton, Sheffield, Alachua County. That's Gainesville. He was back to back within 5 years around the Gainesville. I know there's a town called Newberry. And look at this one, archery. David McQueen got his with his bow and arrow, 157 points. Don't you know that was a thrill? And then Madison County, Chris Harrell in 1987 got 156 points. And then Gary Lees from Taylor, which is Perry County. It's Madison and Perry. And that's got a rifle. So you got Madison County. You got all these are North Florida counties with the exception of Pasco County. And of course, Marion is Ocala. That's sort of central Florida, but everything else, Leon and Gaston, and that's all. And we've always talked to biologists before, and it's all because of the soil, the strong soil. That's when the Alabama bucks are big, and all because of the crops and all they've eaten, and the DNA has been passed down. So always good to recognize those top 10 each year. And I was thinking about it last night. I don't know if they'll ever kill them more that big or not. I really don't, because there's it's less area to hunt now. You got really more deer hunters, although hunting hunting licenses are being sold at a less amount, but there's more deer hunters now than we had in a long time. So anyway, speaking of which, deer hunting, I'm not going to finish this, but I do want to talk about it, tree stand safety. Maybe I'll pick this up Monday, because one of the big things on tree stand safety is being careful. And I took some pictures, I pulled some pictures up last night, and I don't know if I can get them or not. I can't pull them up right now. So anyway, well, we got them right here. I do have a picture of some mullet. Listen, I was going to mention that in the fishing report. The mullet being caught, they're catching them this week, and dodge that weather. But Buddy West, a lot of y'all know Buddy West, the West family down there in St. Andrew, the printing company. Buddy loves the outdoors. He's good at it. So anyway, tree stand safety, I'm going to just touch base on it. The reason I want to talk about it, I may not be able to cover it. This past week at the CIOPA conference, we had a little segment. A guy presented safety and tree stand safety and all. And one of the things he talked about, and I never really thought about it this way, was the 3-point rule. And of course, I'm thinking about basketball on 3-pointers, but he was up there and we laughed about it. 3 points. If you climb a ladder, always have 3 parts of your body touching the ladder at all times. Okay. Usually, you got 2 feet and 2 hands, of course, but only take off one at a time. So and always have 3 connections to that ladder. And I never thought about that, but that's a good rule, especially if you're teaching young people, because a lot of times, they'll take the foot and the arm all moving at the same time, so you only got 2 contacts. But that 3-point rule is very important in climbing ladders in the outdoors. So keep that in mind. I never really thought about that, but they talked about it. Anyway, all kind of tips on here, but I'm going to go over a lot of this on Monday. Of course, you know, the big thing is wearing a harness, and for the goodness gracious, I talk about it all the time, but I don't do it myself. It's like me wearing a life jacket all the time. I don't do it, and I tell y'all we should, and I just we just got to get in the habit. I formed a habit many years ago of taking care of myself, climbing up the ladder, and having enough strength and all to do it. But year after year, the accidents of people falling off of ladders, going up in a tree stand. It looks like we would all learn to wear that harness. But these guys that really get up in the trees up high and all, they're wearing harnesses, those safety harnesses with a rope tied to it, and really that's the way you do it. And one of the things too is take your time when you're climbing. Don't just get up there real fast and all. Take your time when you're climbing. But there are all kinds of safety points. I don't want to rush through it now. I just want to make sure we understand the safety of it. So on Monday's show, I'm going to go over some real important points on tree stand safety. Like I say, I've got the point now where I hunt a lot in ground blinds, and I don't hunt as much as I used to, of course. I don't go every weekend like I did. I used to think it was part of our religion, you had to go every weekend, but I sort of concentrate mine now around late December and January, and you know, that's about when I do it. But I do like to hunt out of a ground blind, but there's still, I've got a couple of places where I just like to get up and look around. You can see better, you can't debate that point. So, but it's not high off the ground, but I don't really get up in any tall places anymore. So anyway, let's get ready for our drawing. This drawing will be for Sandhill Seafood. And the winner of the $20 gift certificate for Sandhill Seafood is going to be Michael White from Defuniak Springs. So Deer Point Lake, Defuniak Springs. And now the big red snapper. Always good in cold weather, some fried up red snapper. And winner of the red snapper is going to be from Otter Creek in Ebro, Greg Ward. Otter Creek. All right, let's spread them out. All right, we're going to take our final break and come back with our famous Friday fishing report. Okay, welcome back to the famous Friday fishing report brought to us by Tarpon Dog Seafood. And what we're looking at now, of course, is the weather. What's going to happen tomorrow? We don't really know when. We don't really know when the weather's going to be coming in. They're saying in the morning, going to clear up in the afternoon and all that. But I was hoping, you know, it wouldn't come in at all. It may not, but anyway, there's about 80% chance of rain tomorrow. And I plan on going. I was going to try to fish tomorrow morning and go to the woods tomorrow afternoon because I didn't want to have to watch that Florida-Georgia football game. So I was going to the woods tomorrow afternoon. But anyway, here's a report I've gathered together this week, talking to people and getting some different reports. The big thing at the City Marina now, I just got word that Pompano showed up on Wednesday afternoon. Okay, the big deal. I told you they're going to be coming this week. Pompano Wednesday afternoon, some nice catches at the City Pier. Also, the Bull Reds at the City Marina. I saw some nice pictures of big bull reds at three places: the City Marina, the St. Andrew Marina, and of course the jetties. And we talked about the bull reds yesterday's show. Whiting, I saw some good pictures and good reports of whiting being caught in the surf. So it's right now, you just got to stop and go, folks, if you can. And I'm talking to myself too. The fiddler crabs, I know, well, you don't catch fiddler crabs to eat, but fiddler crabs right now, they're prime, okay? They're healthy, they've been eating all summer, they're all over the place. If you can catch some fiddler crabs, and even if you got to freeze some for bait, for different things and all, you got a lot of fiddler crabs out there, but try to catch them and fish with them fresh. And sheephead are still around those pilings. We don't talk about it a lot this time of year, but fresh fiddler crabs are going to be good. I did talk to Scott Lindsay this week. He gave me a report on Choctaw Bay, and he and his buddy, what he calls a dog doctor, the veterinarian buddy of his, they've been over Choctaw Bay fishing, and he said speckled trout are all over the place. But just like here in the St. Andrew Bay system and Apalachicola Bay system, they're not very big. They're all under the legal size, but there's just a bunch of them out there. If you just want to go catch a bunch of trout, it's a good time of year to catch it. So anyway, so let's go. That's the general report. And that covers all of it. The big thing now it was Pompano showing up at the pier. So so location-wise, if you're going to go, a lot of people want to go bull red fishing. Like I say, one of the prime places now would be the jetties right in here. Okay. Now people say, where do you get those scallops? Let's talk about those illegal scallops. Those people get them. They get them up in this area right in here. Okay. It's because that's pretty clean water right up in this here, and you can get them illegally here if you want to. And also there's some over here in the East Bay. But like I say, I know most of us outdoors are not going to do it. But if you see somebody doing it, and probably this weekend they won't be out. But if the weather gets good next couple weeks and all, you'll see some people doing it. So call FWC on it. Okay, Mexico Beach, the ramp, the pier is still out at Mexico Beach. Hopefully they'll put a nice one back in there. I don't know if they're going to take that one down or whatever, but let's go to St. Joe Bay. The guys at Blue Water saying St. Joe Bay is really hot now. A lot of redfish are coming to St. Joe Bay all through this area here. The town beach area, look, all you got to do is ride by and look at the guides. There are like 3 or 4 guides fishing along the town beach area right in here. That tells you one thing, they're fishing there. Live bait is going to be really good. Eagle Harbor is going to be good. Anywhere around Black's Island is going to be really good fishing. Not a lot of people in St. Joe Bay this time of year. Beautiful fishing right in there. Going over to the river system, the Apalachicola river system. Again, the big thing here, and there's so many places to go in the Apalachicola river system. Pretty soon when it gets cold, we're talking about the St. Mark's area, the East River, all this low area down here. You can catch you can catch a brim on one cast or something. You can catch a catfish. You can catch a bass. You can catch a redfish. All of that is in there in the fall. There's a lot of shrimp, a lot of bait in there. Really good fishing over in that area. Coming over to St. George Island, the backside of St. George Island is going to be really good. Wade fishing, it's not too bad. It's not too cold yet to go wade fishing. Wade fishing will be spectacular on some given days here behind St. George Island. Make sure you don't get in the muddy areas. Get some good sandy areas, good boots and all, and you're going to get a little bit wet and all. But if you can wade out there just about knee deep and cast in a little bit deeper, you're going to get in some isolated spots and all, and catch some. Okay, I haven't talked to sea quarters this week. We talked to them last week, and we know what's going on the backside of Dog Island. The river should be in pretty good shape down there. Okay, now I didn't really cover Choctawhatchee Bay other than what Scott Lynn just said, but Scott was telling us, like I say, some really good fishing over there, and the creeks coming out, Black Creek, and I've run out of time, folks. I'm sorry. Y'all have a great weekend. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.